Okay, welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about, everyone's asking me about my health journey. How did you lose 70 pounds? And it's going to be in two parts. There's going to be two parts to this one, too, because I don't want to go really, really long. It'll take me an hour. But I think before I talk about, so I don't even know, like, okay, where do I start? I have to start at the beginning, right, of how bad things were. I think that that's where I need to start. So let's start there. Um, I had just started to gain weight. You know, you go through menopause and you start to gain a little bit more weight. I've always been pretty tiny. I mean, like I always was a pretty small frame and pretty tiny. And so I had gained, a couple different times I had gained some weight. Most of the time, my weight would average around 120. So I'm just giving a point of reference here, 115 to 120, like that. It was like that forever. And I thought it was no problem. Then all of a sudden it became, 130 and even 140. I did have, my daughter a little bit later in life at 43. And I got all the way up to 161 pounds when I had her, and was the highest weight I'd ever been when I had my other children. Like when I delivered my son and went in to deliver, I only weighed 116 pounds. And then I just lost that weight. Like that just gives you a little bit of point of reference here. So I weighed 161 pounds when I delivered her. And I did lose some of that weight. I was able to get back down to around 140. And so, but still 140 was at a much higher weight for me than I had been. And then I could at any time just decide. Like one point I was like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. And so I'd start doing more exercising and I'd start watching my weight, and I could pretty much eat healthier and exercise some more and lose weight. And that went on through my 20s, 30s, 40s. And then I hit 50. And it was like, ooh, this is starting to be a little bit harder. It was harder to get the weight off, and the weight was creeping up. And so, and I was traveling, and I was traveling every week, like every single week. I was on the road, I was in a hotel. I had very little time for exercise when I was at home and I wasn't on the road. I had consulting clients and I was working 12-hour days, and I just was not a work life balance at all. And I started gaining weight and I couldn't get it off. So when COVID happened, I was probably like 30 pounds overweight of where I wanted to be, which my target weight at that point was like, if I can be 125, 130, I would be happy. So I was probably around like 155 or something like that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was tough, and I was not feeling as good. And then COVID happened and I got super depressed. Um, Super depressed. Um, Eating more. I had more time to work out, and I always said if I had more time to work out, I would. But the truth of it was, is I didn't. I even worked out less than I had been before. Now I'm not on the road. Now I'm not working. Now I'm eating and I'm having wine every day, and like everybody else did during COVID. And so I gained even more weight. Like, and so now I'm having issues. So let's fast forward this to like 23, 24. Like I'm having some health issues. I'm having some heart issues. My A1C is up. I am, because I'm probably at this point like at least 60 pounds overweight of where kind of I wanted to be. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started having pulmonary problems, like breathing. I was out of breath all the time. And I found myself incredibly weak. I was, I weighed as much. I had gotten up to like 180 pounds. For me, that was like, oh my gosh. On my very small frame. And it was just really hard. And I was having a hard time. Even I have 2 flights of stairs at my house. It was hard. By the time I got up the stairs to go to my bedroom, I'd have to stop and like catch my breath before I walked down the hallway. So I need everybody to understand as I go into this story that this wasn't just a flippant decision of what I did or some vain thing that I did. And it is important. I think it's super important. So my doctor was concerned. And so she said to me at that time, you know, there's these new GLP-1 drugs, and I really think you could benefit from it because we had tried other things. And she said, I just think you're insulin resistant, you're, you know, pre-diabetic, and we need to get this under control. So I think these are some of the new drugs coming out, and I'd love to put you on it. So I was like, okay, well, like, let me do a little bit of research on it. I never like to take anything without doing some research. So I started looking stuff up on it. And so I thought, gosh, okay. I was a little hesitant. I was a little nervous about it, being super honest. I was super nervous about it. So she prescribed it. And then originally it was Wegovy. That's what she had initially prescribed. So I went to pick up this prescription and they said, you're denied. And I was like, what? And they said, you have to do, like, it was 6 months worth of stuff I had to do. Like, I had to go in, I had to get be weighed. I had to, like, they wanted to see, which I don't know that everybody does this because I hear lots of other people, they just go and get it. But I had to see, like, what the calorie intake, and she was trying me on a different drug first. She had to try that one. Then we had to try another one. There was like 3 other things they wanted her to give me and for me to show that I was doing. And so we did that for 6 months. I had my weight charted for 6 months and the needle had not moved at all. So then she said, oh, well, they're not really recommending Wegovy because they were starting to run out of it. If you remember, that's when like all that stuff was happening. She said, they're not really doing that. There's a new drug. It's called Zepbound, and that's the one I think that you should do. And I said, okay, because she said, I don't think that your insurance, they're not covering for it for Wegovy right now, because all the diabetics that are using this are like actually running out of it, and they don't want it for a weight loss, which was Ozempic. So I said, okay. So she gives me the Zepbound. I go get that filled. Denied. So my insurance says this is a brand new drug on the market, and our policy with my insurance company was that they weren't going to fill it until it had been on the market for 6 months. So now I'm waiting another 6 months. So till that everybody understands, a year has gone by now. And it's actually gotten worse. Like my health is getting worse. So I was trying. Like I was walking like probably 15 miles a week. I was like I was doing stuff and nothing was helping. So I need everybody else to understand that. Okay. So then the 6 months is up. So then I start to try to get it filled again. And they're like, my insurance company was like, well, your doctor has to fill out the following forms. And she hasn't done that yet. We've sent this back to her requesting that you have been tested for thyroid. You've been tested for Hashimoto's. You've been tested for like all of this stuff. They wanted all these tests done first. And we had done that. And so, but she hadn't filled the paperwork out. Because I started hounding my insurance company. Like, I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I was calling them like every couple of weeks. And so they finally said, well, your doctor has not done what we've asked her to do, which was making me mad. So they said, we're going to mail you the paperwork again. So they mailed it to me, highlighted it. I highlighted everything on there that she needed to fill out, and I drove it up to my doctor's office. So I waited like a week or so, called the insurance company back. Nope, don't have anything. So I'm kind of mad, if you can even imagine. But here is what happened. This is kind of was what did it for me. So she had me to go get a pulmonary test because I was having such a hard time breathing. And she said, I want to make sure there's nothing else going on, blah, blah, blah. And so when I went, I actually did okay on the test. Even the technician there said, you actually did pretty well. Um, and you actually did better than I thought that you would do. So, because they put you in this chamber and they suck all the air out and then you got to breathe, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. But then my doctor came back and said, well, you have early onset adult asthma, and here's the 3 prescriptions I'm going to give you. I looked at them, and my dad had just died a few years earlier from COPD. And these were, and he was bad. These were the same drugs that they had put my dad on. My dad had been on when he died. And I knew how dependent he became on those drugs, like as his thing progressed. And I was like, I'm not taking these. And I said to her, I'm not taking these. I said, I'm getting this weight off first to see if my problem goes away. And if it does not, we can revisit it. But I am not taking these drugs. So that was that. And I had to write that on my chart. I wrote that to her. And so then right after that, my daughter, my oldest daughter, had asked me if I would take my granddaughter to gymnastics. And I thought, okay, I'll drive her to gymnastics on Wednesday. And I go to gymnastics, and it's a mommy and me class, and I'm the oldest person there. And so, and you had to participate. And so I have to get down on the floor. And so by the time, and it's all these young moms with their little kids. And by the time I got down in the floor and back up, they were already all up, and now they were on to the next thing. And now they're back down again. And I remember coming home from that day in tears because I couldn't even get up and down the floor fast enough with all those other moms. Like, it made me so sad. And now they want to put me on all these other drugs. And so I got on the phone and I made an appointment with my doctor. I said, I just want to come in. I'm having some blood pressure. I think I'm having some blood pressure issues. That's what I made up. And I get in there and she's like, okay, what's going on? I go, what is going on? And you have not filled out this paperwork. And I am here right now. They said you could call or you could mail it in. So I'm going to sit here right now while you call my insurance company and you give them all the necessary information that they have been requesting from you for the last, I don't know, 3 months. And she was aggravated at me. And I said, that's how I'm using my appointment time today. So let's call them. Let's call them right now. And so she sat there and she did. And then she gave him the information. And then she gave me this big old speech on how they're just denying it and they're not even going to cover it. And they're not covering them now anyways. And I was just like, you're the one that wanted me to have this in the first place. Like, she's the one that started on this whole journey. So she said, you're probably not going to get it. They're probably not going to cover it. I said, okay. Like, well, we did what they asked us to do. That was at 3:00. My appointment with her was at 3:00. And at 5:00, my pharmacy called and said, we have your prescription ready. So the reason I tell you this story is a couple of things, because I'm going to get to part 2 of this story. Number one, it was like over a year and 3 months before, from the first time that we started hearing about it till I actually got it. So I had a lot of time to do a lot of research. Number 2, I was having high cholesterol. I was having breathing issues. I was having some heart issues, and my A1C was crazy, and I was already pre-diabetic. So I need everybody to understand that at the same time. Okay. So then I had done so much research on how to be, like, if I went to this is how I felt, and this is how I am about anything I do. If I had gone to that much trouble to finally get this, then I didn't ever want to go back to any again. Like, I didn't want to be on it and then go all the way back. So I said, when I get it, I am going to do everything in my power alongside of it. It isn't going to be take a shot. So I'm going to do all the things. So I did. And the reason that I share this with you right now is because people ask me all the time. So this has got to be the rest of part one. And then part two, next week, I'm going to talk about all the things I did. Okay. And how I exceeded far beyond what the average is and how I've kept it off. So those are really important factors in this whole journey. But here is the piece I do need to share. And that is, so people started asking me, so what did you do? And my answer would be everything. I've done everything. I've done intermittent fasting. I've eaten high protein. I've eaten low carbs. I have, eliminated foods out of my diet. I'm on a clean, healthy eating. I started exercising. Like I would just go through that whole list. And most people would go, wow, well, good for you. Good for you. I mean, that's what I get a lot. Very few people, but I had a couple would say, did you take anything? And so I would not lie. I would say, yes, I did. But I did all the other things with it. But I never said that up front. And I'll tell you why. And it's still why today. And me sharing this is really the first time I've shared this. Like, I haven't even really shared it with very many of my friends unless they flat out ask. And here's why. Because I cannot even begin to tell you the shame that people put on people. And, I'm going to go into the how I did it with all those things that I just mentioned next week. Next Thursday, or next Friday, we're going to do this. But here's the deal. It's been just about a year and a half now. Like March will be 18 months. And so I have lost by January, I had hit 70 pounds. So my goal was minimum 50 pounds, right? And she told me, oh, the average that you're going to lose, it's a certain percentage of your weight. It'll probably be around 37 pounds. I was like, okay, so my goal was I'm going to hit 50 as my minimum goal. 60 is my desired goal and 70 is my stretch goal. That's what I set from the very beginning. And so people like put so much shame on you. Like people talk about these drugs, like with people taking them and they're so mean. Like I watch online things and there's even people that I have followed that teach like health stuff. And they're like, oh, and don't do these. These are gonna, and every time I see somebody, oh, danger, like it causes this. And then I read it to make sure, is there something I'm not aware of? Like I want to make sure I'm aware of everything I can be aware of. And it's usually that just the side effects that people had. And this isn't everybody's body is different. So I'm not saying, oh, it's this, it's that, because I'm not shaming anybody in this. I've been fortunate. I've had minimal side effects, very minimal. But I will tell you why also, because I read up as much as I could on what causes the most of that. A lot of it is overeating, and a lot of it is what you eat, and a lot of it is not eating enough protein. And so, man, I made sure, like, I'm going to do the right things. And I'll cover all that in more detail, but what I don't hardly tell anybody because people are so shameful. And you know what? When I look at where I was, because here's the end of the story. Like I'll tell the middle of the story next week, but my A1C is down lower than it's been in I don't know how long. My cholesterol is down. My blood pressure is down. I have no breathing issues whatsoever. And I started exercising and all of that. And I exercised at the beginning, just walking. Then I increased it. And then I started doing weight training so I could keep all of my muscle. And I'm stronger right now than I was probably 15 years ago, like in the last 15 years, maybe even closer to 20, if we're going to be super honest about it. And so people can shame all day that they want. So when people ask me, what did you do? And I say everything, I don't include that because it's there. And if they ask, well, did you do anything else? I say yes, but I always feel guilty. Like, but at the same time, I mean, I was at the gym, and the guy that I've been doing the weight training with, he starts kind of like putting down somebody else that's doing it. And I just very casually said, before you start putting people down for doing it, you ought to know what their situation is and their story. And you shouldn't be shaming people. I said, because I've taken it. And, well, you must be different. It's like, well, everybody's different and everybody has their journey. And some people, I mean, I had a girlfriend, because I would ask everybody, like, you did it, what's your story? And she's like, well, instead of my husband eating 3 cheeseburgers, he only eats 1 cheeseburger. It's like, well, I'm eating 0 cheeseburgers, okay? Like, so there's people's attitude about it. And my attitude was, if I have been given this opportunity, finally, after over a year and a half, and if this works, I'm going to do everything in my power alongside of it to make sure that it not only works, but that it stays. And that I can maintain this. I had to change my lifestyle. So it wasn't about just, take a shot and lose weight, whichever people call people lazy. And if you are desperate and your health is really starting to fail and you are trying to get a hold of it and nothing is working, and there is a medication that can help you, if you took a medication for high blood pressure, you wouldn't shame people. Or if you people take medication for high cholesterol and people don't shame them. And they don't shame people for any other medication that they might take when they've got a situation. So my advice to you is, if you've considered it, do all of your research. And if you are going to do it, then change your lifestyle. Don't just go on it to just, as a vanity, just to lose weight. Like, change your lifestyle so that you will be able to maintain that and you can have a better quality of life. That was my attitude about it. It's my attitude now about it. And then next week, I will go into more detail about what those stages were, how I did my plan. Because I'm a systems girl. I can't help myself. And so I had to create a system, and I had to learn as I went, because I was really doing it on my own. I started watching more videos about it and learned some things from some different people online, for sure. But I had to create my own system and program for myself. And so that doesn't mean that, mine can be exactly like yours, but I know that it worked, and you can adopt some of those things. But I'm super thankful for that opportunity, like that I had something to help me, to jumpstart me. And I am super glad that I am, I've lost that weight and I'm maintaining that weight. And I weigh myself every day, because sure enough, we went to Boston to see my daughter, and we were only there for 4 days or 5 days, and I gained 5 pounds in 5 days. And so, like, golly, but why? Because we were eating out and we were doing stuff every meal. So you gotta, like, the next time I'm like, okay, I gotta plan a little bit better in eat some of those meals in the hotel, take my own, like, get some hard-boiled eggs, and I gotta plan better. But I was able to get the 5 pounds off. That's the difference. I came home and ate healthy. And actually within probably a week, I'd lost the 5 pounds. So, I mean, I know I can do that. And that's my marker, is that 5 pounds. And so can you do it? Sure, you can do it. If you stay, that goes back to watching your numbers. Like, now I'm always going to do that, because I want to stay within a range that I can maintain. So I hope the learning lessons here were, if you didn't catch them all, the learning lessons here are, we have to be our own advocates for our health. You have to look up, like, different medicines. One of the stories I did not tell about this, and it's an important one to tell. When my doctor said you've got onset adult asthma, I was like, So, and she wanted to give me all those drugs. I looked up what are the causes of adult onset asthma. The number one, like this is, I Googled it. So this isn't me claiming something. This is just what I Googled, and this is what it said. It said it can be brought on by low B6 and B12 and folic acid. So I was like, interesting. So I went back to my labs that I had just had done, and guess what? Those three things were low on my chart. Did my doctor ever once say, you're low in this and this could be causing your problem? No. So then I decided I'm going to start taking a B complex and I'm going to take folic acid, and my breathing issues got better. I did start losing weight at the same time, so I can't say that that miraculously did it, but I think it helped because now my numbers are up in that category. I take a B complex all the time now with folic acid, and those aren't low when I get my blood work done. So number one, you have to be your own advocate. Number two, you have to find your way in your journey, and you cannot be shamed by anybody on anything, whether it's doing hormone replacement therapy. I don't know why women, well, for so long they said, oh, I was thankful I had a doctor that said, there's no real research that says you're going to get this, or this. So like, you're going to take this. And I'm super thankful about that. But how many women weren't doing it at all because people like make people feel shamed in that, like somehow you're not tough enough to get through it. That's ridiculous. Like it just makes me so mad. So we have to be our own advocates for our own medical care. That's just how it is. Yes, you can go to the doctor, but you best be looking stuff up. And if you don't like the answer that you're getting or we're not sure, then keep researching it. Get a second opinion. Like, don't just stick your head in the sand and go, oh, well, there's not really much I can do. There is always something you can do. So that's number two. Number three, don't care about what other people's opinions are. It's your life. Like, half the people want to complain about everybody else because they don't want to put in the hard work. So it's easier to say, oh, well, you cheated or you did that, or, oh, people are just blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know what? You go do you, I'll do me. And I'll be happy with how I'm living, and you can be happy with how you're living. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. So, like, why do people feel the need to give you their opinion when it's not asked for? And why do people feel the need to tell you what you're doing is wrong when they don't have anything to base it on? Like, that's just kind of what cracks me up. And then the last lesson is if you do decide to do this, do your research on it. There's so much videos now on it, like, because it's been out, but do it the right way, so that you can have the best results that are sustainable. That's what I would say to you. So that's my health journey thus far. And next week, I'm going to go into the routine. So about what I ate, what exercises I did when, how I managed the whole thing of it. So we'll talk about that next week. But thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. And subscribe, like it, share it with somebody that you think might need this. Because there is probably a lot of people just needing to hear this story. Even if it's just learning to be your own advocate. Like me pushing my doctor to call my insurance company. Like, what the heck? Like, that was annoying. Straight up annoying. But got to take care of. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you next Friday when we continue this story. I appreciate every one of you, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend.